People are saying the OKC Thunder have made a big mistake again, and that history is repeating itself. Rewind to the late 2010s and general manager Sam Presti went on the greatest draft run ever, selecting Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook and James Harden during this time period. 3 future MVPs who won a combined 9 scoring titles in the NBA. This trio was destined to conquer basketball. They made the NBA finals in their early 20s, but before they could become a dynasty, James Harden was traded. Ownership didn't want to pay him a max contract, and the rest is history.
Is Oklahoma City better or worse right now than they were with or without James Harden?
You know what?
Did they take a step back?
No, Skip. They're worse now. That doesn't mean that will be the case come playoff time.
James Harden became one of the best players of his generation, and that OKC team, who drafted 3 MVPs, won 0 championships during that era. Flash forward today, and Sam Presti managed to pull off the impossible again, robbing the Clippers in one of the biggest heists in NBA history and flipping any asset of trade value for draft picks over multiple years, trusting in his own ability to identify young talent in the draft. And the strategy worked. The OKC Thunder finally won their first championship, and it probably won't be their last. They are in pole position to continue competing for a very long time. They have one of the deepest rosters in NBA history and still have more draft capital than any other team in the league.
To have that roster, to have them this young, playing at this level, this man is a special executive.
But just because they're successful doesn't make them flawless, and along the way they may have made one huge mistake, and that is giving up on one of their own. But speaking of the OKC Thunder, trades, dynasties, let me tell you about Dunk City Dynasty, who just dropped a massive update and James Harden is now finally in the game, which means you can answer the NBA's biggest what if, reuniting the beard with his old Thunder teammates, and even equip the newly released Thunder jerseys using the jersey subscription feature to experience the trio back together. Dunk City Dynasty is a free 3v3 mobile basketball game officially licensed by the NBA, and you can unlock your favourite NBA stars and customise your dream team to your liking. And with the new update releasing right in time for Thanksgiving and Black Friday, Dunk City Dynasty is running special in-game sales and events. So if there's ever been a time to get started, build your dream lineup with your favourite NBA stars and legends, your time is now. So click the link in the description, download Dunk City Dynasty, the best free mobile basketball game out right now, and if you're already playing, click the links in the description, follow Dunk City Dynasty on social media to stay connected. Now let's get back to it. Josh Giddey. This season in Chicago, he has gone to another level, breaking Michael Jordan's records, averaging a near triple-double and leading the Bulls to the top of the Eastern Conference. This is a comeback story nobody saw coming, not even Sam Presti himself. Giddey was a player who faced career-ending allegations. He was booed in every NBA arena.
A different in-season tournament. The final night of group play. Both these teams in West Group C. Giddey on the turnaround shot.
Deemed redundant by the team who drafted him, his career was going downhill, and just when almost everybody had given up on him, he emerged from the shadows and has been one of the best players in the NBA this season.
Look, down to 2. 1 on the clock. Giddey. He's it. Oh my goodness. Oh, baby.
But is this really surprising? Maybe you weren't paying enough attention, because back in 2021, Josh Giddey emerged as a once-in-a-generation talent in Australian basketball. A 6'8", well-rounded point guard who, after dominating at the NBA Global Academy and becoming an all-star in the world-famous Basketball Without Borders camp, signed a professional contract to play in the NBL, one of the best domestic leagues in the world outside of the NBA. There, an 18-year-old Josh Giddey made history, becoming the youngest player in league history to record a triple-double. He was NBL Rookie of the Year, and when you compare his numbers to number 3 pick and Rookie of the Year LaMelo Ball, who also played in Australia with the Illawarra Hawks, the numbers were very similar, and because of this, Josh Giddey was in contention to be a top 3 pick. However, his draft PR was terrible, and this pre-draft scouting report, probably created by some American journalist who'd never watched him play, perfectly summarizes why Giddey's stock fell. This analysis makes him look like the worst basketball player player of all time, but Sam Presti saw something in Giddey, and with the 6th pick in the 2021 NBA draft, he selected him ahead of big names like Jonathan Kuminga and Franz Wagner. Starting his NBA career in the 2021-22 season, Josh Giddey was one of the standout rookies. Just a week into his NBA career, he had a double-double with 18 points and 10 assists against the Lakers, becoming the second youngest player in NBA history to ever record double-digit assists in a game.
The shots haven't dropped here in the early part of this game.
Yeah, that was a great start, scoring those 34 points and Jordan. I mean, you can throw that thing up by the top of the square, Jordan will go get it.
How about Giddey off the deck with a straightaway three? 18-footer throughout his entire career. And the right play dialed up, and there's a nice Veers right. Now it's Giddey. Giddey around the corner. Back to Favors inside. The beautiful dump and finish. And it's a three-point OKC lead.
On Boxing Day 2021, Giddey became just the second player in NBA history to record a scoreless double-double. 10 assists, 10 rebounds, and 0 points in a win over the Pelicans. And Giddey continued to break records just like he did in the NBL. He became the youngest player in NBA history to record a triple-double, with 17 points, 14 assists, and 13 rebounds against the Mavericks, breaking another one of LaMelo Ball's records.
He is the youngest NBA player to have a triple-double at 19 years, 2 months, and 23 days old, beating Charlotte's LaMelo Ball, who had a triple-double at 19 years, 10 months, and 17 days old.
At one point, he was the frontrunner to win the Rookie of the Year award. He won Western Conference Rookie of the Month in October, November, December, January, and February. That was until a hip injury ruled him out for the remainder of the season. Overall, Josh Giddey was more than justifying being selected number 6 in the draft. He averaged 12.5 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 6 assists per game. The only knock on him was his efficiency, shooting 42% from the field and 26% from the perimeter. But every rookie is going to have pros and cons, and in Giddey's case, the good outweighed the bad. But despite his standout performances his rookie year, Josh Giddey was snubbed. He didn't make the all-rookie first team despite receiving 122 total votes and 24 votes for first team. He also didn't even make the shortlist to win the Rookie of the Year award. But all of this was because of injury. Giddey played just 54 of 82 games, missing over a quarter of the season, and still, as a testament to how good he was the only rookie to tally 500 points, 400 rebounds, and 300 assists in the season. It's safe to assume that if not for injuries, Giddey probably would have won that Rookie of the Year award.
You know, Josh is one of those kids who can definitely see the game a lot quicker than a lot of guys out on the floor. And he's shown, I think he got like 3 straight triple-doubles. You know, just been playing beautiful basketball.
While the Thunder weren't very good, finishing as the 14th seed and winning just 24 games, the feeling around the franchise was positive. They were drafting top 3 in the 2022 NBA draft. They had unlimited draft capital in the coming years, and 2 players showing signs of potential stardom in Josh Giddey and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's important to remember that in Giddey's rookie season, Shai wasn't quite Shai yet. He was only 23 years old, and while averaging just under 25 points per game, he wasn't an all-star and the Thunder were in the lottery. So at this point, he was kind of still considered in that tier of guys who average a lot of points on bad teams. It was the next year where Shai really took the leap and became the franchise guy, averaging 31.4 points per game. This changed everything for OKC, because now there was no debate as to who the franchise player was and who it was going to be going forward. And to accommodate Shai, Giddey was moved to the 4. He was still tasked with some playmaking and point forward responsibility, but the ball for the most part was in Shai's hands.
He will work bad with someone like a Brunson, right? He'll struggle a little bit with a Brunson, right? Because that means his playmaking style is gone. Now he just like a corner and a rebounder. So you take away his attributes. So
statistically, Giddey had a better year as a sophomore than as a rookie, averaging 16.6 points, 7.9 rebounds, and 6.2 assists. He also became more efficient scoring the ball, upping his percentages to 48% from the field and 33% from outside. Giddey had some great individual performances too. 31 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists against the Hornets. 27 points, 17 rebounds, and 7 assists against the Lakers. And most impressively of of all, 17 points, 17 assists, and 11 rebounds against the Warriors. And this season, the Thunder were pretty good. In the super competitive Western Conference, they finished just below 500 with a 14-42 record. They even qualified for the play-in tournament, where unfortunately, the Thunder were blown out by the Minnesota Timberwolves in a game where Giddey really struggled, finishing with just 6 points on 2 of 13 shooting from the field. Not exactly convincing, but things were about to change in Oklahoma, and in the 2023-24 season, fans expected them to take a leap and to become a playoff team, especially with number 2 pick Chet Holmgren joining the squad after missing his first year with injury. Everyone was in agreement that the Thunder were a promising young team with a great future ahead of them, but I don't think even the most optimistic Thunder fan anticipated what happened happening so quickly. In the 2023-24 season, they weren't just a playoff team, they were title contenders. The Thunder took the NBA by storm, steamrolling through the regular season, dominating the Western Conference, leading as the number 1 seed from start to finish, and SGA took another huge leap, becoming an MVP candidate, finishing second behind Jokic, which some people argue to this day he deserved.
I have a vote. He did not get my vote. My vote went to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who I think should have been the worthy recipient of this award.
Joker, as the president of the Big Man Alliance, you are the vice president of the Big Man Alliance. You know I love you, the best player in the league. I want to congratulate you, but I want you to hear from me first. I thought that SGA should have been the MVP. That's no disrespect to you, but congratulations.
Even as a rookie, Chet was a game changer, a defensive anchor who competed with Wembanyama for both Defensive Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year. Jalen Williams was making a name for himself too, averaging close to 20 points per game. But while the Thunder as a team improved as a collective, Josh Giddey regressed as an individual. He faced some serious allegations off the court that tarnished his name and definitely had an effect on his performance.
This weekend, the NBA is investigating Oklahoma City Thunder basketball player Josh Giddey for an alleged improper relationship with an underage girl.
He still started every game he played, but because of the Thunder's depth, he went from almost 32 minutes a night in his first 2 seasons to just 25 minutes per game in year 3. His numbers took a hit too, regressing in every category, averaging just 12.3 points, 6.4 rebounds and 4.8 assists. He was playing out of position, playing less minutes, putting up worse numbers, but the straw that really broke the camel's back was Josh Giddey's postseason performances. During the 2024 playoffs, Giddey's role was reduced even more, and in the second round against the Dallas Mavericks, going from logging 26 minutes per game against the Pelicans in the first round to just 12 minutes against the Mavericks. He even lost his starter spot. As for the Thunder season, they exceeded all expectations, and their playoff run was a learning experience. But at the same time, it was disappointing. They lost to Dallas in a series they were expected to win, and not making the conference finals after dominating the regular season the way they did was seen as a bit of a failure. Sam Presti, being an active general manager, was forced to switch things up during the off-season, and the biggest question was what to do with Josh Giddey. He was a 21-year-old solid player with all-star potential, but history was repeating itself. The downside of drafting and developing young talent as well as the Thunder do is that you cannot afford to keep everyone long-term. Eventually you have to pick and choose who you're going to build around and pay, and Josh Giddey was eligible for his rookie extension. Now SGA is the franchise player, he's making supermax money. Jalen Williams was emerging as a future all-star wing. Chet Holmgren is a unicorn who was gonna command max money further down the line. So that's 3 max players right there. The Thunder also wanted to sustain what makes them great, their depth. If they wanted to keep important role players like Isaiah Joel, Lou Dort, etc., they were going to have to make a sacrifice, and Giddey was the odd man out. As a career 31% shooter in OKC up to that point, he wasn't a threat off the ball. He wasn't a liability, but he wasn't an expert on the defensive side of the floor either. Josh Giddey is at his best in an on-ball role where he can create for others. They originally drafted him to be that guy, but then SGA became something nobody expected, an all-time great offensive talent, and to maximize Giddey's abilities, they'd have to take the ball out of Shai's hands, and that would make the Thunder a worse team. So out of the young core, trading Giddey made the most sense, and that's what they decided to do. The OKC Thunder traded Josh Giddey to the Chicago Bulls in exchange for Alex Caruso, a veteran, 2-time All-NBA defensive player with championship experience, an older player with a lower ceiling than Giddey, but somebody who could and did make a real difference for their team.
Giddey, Oklahoma City has been in pursuit, along with a lot of other teams around the league, of Alex Caruso for years, and they see him fitting seamlessly into their team that was the #1 seed in the West.
This trade is very controversial because people will probably look back many years from now when Giddey is a multiple-time All-Star, see that Caruso retired, and forget the real context of this trade.
I don't like the trade.
Yeah.
My main thing is like, if we're going towards a rebuild, not getting one of the 17 first-round picks, even one of the ones that might turn into 2 seconds in 2 years, like just some type of draft compensation.
Short term, it was a great trade for the Thunder. Caruso was a massive part of OKC's deep roster. He was somebody who could be depended on to be a difference maker in the postseason, and when you talk about the most impactful trades of the 2024-25 season, moves that made a real difference in winning and losing, it's hard to argue that Alex Caruso might have been the most valuable pickup, because during the 2024-25 season, the OKC Thunder without Josh Giddey were better than ever. They won 68 games during the regular season. J-Dub was an all-star, Chet was Chet, Lou Dort, Hartenstein, Wallace, Joe Wiggins all played massive roles, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had a season for the ages, sweeping every individual award imaginable, winning MVP, winning the scoring title, leading his team to their first ever championship, and finishing it off with a finals MVP. Because of that, the trade can never be called a failure, because it was a win-now move and the Thunder won. They accomplished their goal.
AC is huge. I mean, he's a real leader, really loud on the court. He's real vocal. You know, he's a hell of a defender. And then, you know, we kind of needed a guy like that on our team.
And Josh Giddey's first year in Chicago was a little underwhelming too. Despite finally playing his natural position at point guard and playing starter minutes every night, he didn't take off the way people expected him to.
I mean, it took me a while to get going. Like, the first half of the year was so slow, and I obviously coming into a new situation, I didn't want to step on any toes. I wanted to try and fit in without, you know, making it about myself or without trying to divert the team too much of what they had already built. And I knew obviously losing Caruso was a big piece to what they did, so I tried to come in and just fit in without ruffling feathers or anything.
Last season, Giddey averaged 14.6 points, a career-high 7.2 assists, and 8.1 rebounds. It was definitely an improvement from his final season in OKC, but I promise you, the Thunder weren't losing sleep on their decision to get rid of him. However, maybe things have changed, because while last season the OKC Thunder were the obvious winners in the Josh Giddey trade, he produced one performance that at the time that we thought was just a freak one-off moment. But what we didn't realize back then is it might have been the turning point of Josh Giddey's career. March 28th, 2025. Josh Giddey had a game for the ages.
Jackson Hayes sets the screen. Doncic drives. Vucevic deters. Hayes' shot attempt was off target, and here comes Giddey. And looking to attack into Dorian Finney-Smith for the first two of the game. He stays healthy this year. The White Sox in first place. Nice pass again. Giddey
playing amazing last 2 weeks. He was player of the week.
Vucevic saved it off the deflection. White to Giddey, who wanted it all possession.
Bang, bang, bang.
Left. Here comes White. 10-point game. Reset to Giddey. Trying to drive it. Nice. Up. Ooh. Herter. Serving. Giddey. Baseline. Blocking foul.
From 18 points down in the fourth quarter, Giddey galvanized the troops, put the team on his back, finished with 25 points, 14 rebounds and 11 assists. He had a triple-double, outperforming LeBron James and Luka Doncic on the night, and he ended his season-high performance with the single greatest play from any player all season long.
Bulls are out of timeouts. 2 seconds left. Giddey for the win.
Go! My God! I cannot believe this! Elizabeth! I'm coming, baby! Oh, no! Improbable! Unbelievable! Impossible! Magic Giddey!
Despite the euphoria at the United Center and that unforgettable moment for any fan in the building that night, it was one of few highs in a depressing season in the Windy City. Chicago seemed like a team in NBA no man's land. For 3 consecutive seasons, they'd finished with a slightly below 500 record, qualifying for the play-in tournament just to get eliminated and refusing to just tank and rebuild. Chicago were going nowhere. Nobody knew the direction the Bulls were taking. They were built to win now, but they weren't winning. And Expectations for the team this season weren't much different. ESPN had them ranked 24th of 30 NBA teams in the preseason power rankings, giving them just a 6% chance to make the playoffs and projecting a 32-50 record. And those preseason expectations are exactly why what we've seen so far in the 2025-26 season is so shocking, because the Chicago Bulls are actually good, and the main reason for that is the breakout of Josh Giddey. Opening night of the NBA regular season, the Bulls took on the Pistons. Everyone expected the young and upcoming Pistons to start their season off with a W, but Chicago had other plans. Nikola Vucevic went crazy with 28 points and 14 rebounds. The sophomore Matas Buzelis had 21 points, but captaining the ship was Josh Giddey. He had a double-double with 19 points, 11 assists as well as 5 rebounds, and controlled the game from start to finish.
Good cut by Okoro, but he can't lay it in. Stewart challenged him. Okoro got it back for a Giddey three.
With Vooch, he got himself going early, got into a rhythm inside. That's right. And now it looks, the outside shot looks better. Nice pass.
Well, diminished what Doug Christie did in Sacramento last year, but just felt like Herter was more used in a positive way here. That is an exceptional spin by Giddey to fit. Another rejection from Matas Buzelis.
Oh, the big fellas run. And when the big fella runs like that, feed him.
Here comes Giddey, driving on LeVert, taking contact.
Okay, the Bulls pulled off a surprise victory. It's only one game out of 82. Anything can happen in the NBA. But then the Bulls' next game came against another playoff team, the Orlando Magic. Once again, the Bulls came in as massive underdogs and surprised everyone again.
First shot of the game. How about that? That's an easy bucket for Josh Giddey. 3-point shot, no good. Kevin Herter. Herter gets it back. Giddey now. 3-point attempt. Got it. Knocked away by Giddey. 2-on-1. Bain back alone. Giddey gives Chicago a 4-point lead. Giddey, good closeout by Tyus Jones. Giddey over the top of Jones for nice. Oh, good play by Phillips. Long arms there. And here come the Bulls the other end, and they lay it in.
Josh Giddey led the Bulls in scoring with 21 points, doing a bit of everything with 8 rebounds and 3 assists. And Chicago had now started their season winning 2 out of 2 games, beating 2 playoff teams. Another test in their next game up against the newly reinforced Atlanta Hawks, who'd made a lot of moves in the offseason to try and get better and build around Trae Young. The Bulls won this game too. Nikola Vucevic was looking like an all-star with 17 points, 17 rebounds and 9 assists. Giddey again doing his thing with 18 points, 13 rebounds and 5 assists.
Vucevic deterred. Small versus big that time. Here's Okoro. Finally has his first ball.
Well, Billy has the luxury of playing him at the 2, the 3, sometimes at the 4. That really hurt the Celtics.
Giddey, a 3. Good.
Good job. Good job. That time. All right.
Oh, it is. There you go. Jones. Finds Giddey, that's a 3. It's good.
Josh Giddey.
Bulls fans were in dreamland, and just like that they were 3-0 to start their season. In their next game they faced some familiar faces, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan and the Sacramento Kings, and Chicago handled business again. This time Buzelis led the way with 27 points, but Josh Giddey came correct too, 20 points, 12 assists and 8 rebounds, doing a bit of everything again.
They're going to try to put Zach and DeMar in a lot of pick and rolls and a nice drive right there.
Jones driving on Schroeder. A couple of small guards. Giddey in the cut.
And they became a different team.
That was the last time they started 4-0. They're trying to do that tonight. And Herter beats Payne so far.
20 for 22.
My goodness. Nice cut. Oh, what a finish by Giddey and 1.
He's a high energy guy. You can tell. Very athletic.
He's earned everything he's had. Nice move by Giddey.
Let me get some butter with that roll.
And with this victory, the Chicago Bulls were now 4-0. Everybody expected them to lose their next game and they just kept on winning. But surely this time, the run was going to come to an end. A massive test awaited them, last season's Eastern Conference finalists, the New York Knicks, who are one of the favourites to come out of the Eastern Conference this year. This was a massive prove-it game for the Chicago Bulls. And this was the game where Josh Giddey started to make his case to be the NBA's most improved player.
Bulls even though they're on 4-0. They've gotten off to slow starts. There's a nice try. Josh Giddey, because he's going to come in on one end. You can't let him have rest. There's a turnover right there. Trying to loop it to Brunson.
Giddey, lob, Boozy.
Go get it, Boozy Vert. He's no longer little Boozy Vert. He's just Boozy Vert.
Giddey walks into one. And hits!
Good aim, mate.
Good hands.
Yeah, but you steal the game last year. There's Giddey using his size on McBride. And 10. Performance by Giddey with 8 assists. Jones, Vucevic, inside Giddey!
I tell you, you find ways to win.
Josh Giddey was incredible, 32 points, 9 assists and 10 rebounds in a statement victory from the Chicago Bulls, defeating one of the best teams in the NBA and starting the season off with a 5-0 record, taking the spot as the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference. This was not luck. The Chicago Bulls were exceeding all expectations and were better than anyone could have imagined. The United Center was buzzing, fans were excited, but of course the win streak didn't last forever, and the Knicks got their get back in the very next game, handing Chicago their first loss of the season despite a triple-double performance from Josh Giddey, putting up 23 points, 12 assists and 12 rebounds on the night. Still, the Bulls were 5-0, and their next game would say a lot about their character, taking on the in-form Philadelphia 76ers, one of the hottest teams to start the season with a 5-1 record as well. Philly and Chicago were the top 2 teams in the conference. They went head-to-head for the top spot, and it was a thrilling game that went down to the wire.
Using his length on Oubre.
Now he's got an open look at 3. Big start to the second half. The Bulls with time running down on the shot clock need to get it off. Okoro misses the 3, and the rebound loose. Giddey grabs it. Another chance. Giddey's open, a 3. Got it! Giddey waits for some help. Now fires it toward Vooch. On the attack. Whoa! Wrapped his arm around the rebound. Giddey stop and pop. That's a 3. Catch it!
Needed that one.
Embiid trying to get fancy, he lost it.
Too much motion on the high ball.
Giddey takes it himself. It's Giddey on Grimes to the hoop. Full shot.
It's Giddey time. Josh Giddey time.
And then in the final minute, game there for the taking, stars all over the court. It came down to who wanted it more, and one man wanted it more than anyone, rose to the occasion and sealed the deal for his team.
Inbound from Jones. It's Oubre on him. Carter sets up a screen. Giddey races to the basket, fires it out. Vucevic the shot.
Vucci Main for 3. Vucci Main steps up again. The grizzled veteran steps up and hits the biggest shot of the season.
The Chicago Bulls took an L and bounced right back with another huge victory, and Josh Giddey was out of this world again. 29 points, 12 assists and 15 rebounds, taking the game by the scruff of the neck late in the 4th quarter and leading his team to the promised land. The Chicago Bulls were now 6-1, with the second best record in the entire NBA behind only the Oklahoma City Thunder. But most impressively of all, Josh Giddey made history, becoming the first player to record back-to-back triple-doubles for the Chicago Bulls since Michael Jordan in 1989. Think of the great players who've played in Chicago: Scottie Pippen, Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler, Joakim Noah, D. Wade, Levine, DeRozan. Nobody, not even Jordan himself, had triple-doubles in back-to-back games. Not since 1989. Josh Giddey just did that, and he's probably going to do it again. Now, since starting the season 6-1, the Bulls bubble has burst just a little bit, losing 4 out of their last 5 games. But I'm not going to overreact. Giannis is possibly MVP of the league. In Chicago's loss to Milwaukee, he went God mode with 41 points, 9 assists and 15 rebounds. They then lost their next game on the road to Cleveland in a game which they were leading down the stretch and choked. They really should have won that one. Then against the 8-2 San Antonio Spurs, they fought till the end, only losing to a Victor Wembanyama dagger after a monster 38-point performance.
33. Shot clock going down. Vucevic guarding. Wembanyama. How about that for some Chicago pizza?
Take your hot dogs and go home.
In a rematch against the #1 seeded Detroit Pistons without Josh Giddey, the Bulls lost again. I still think they're a legit playoff team because they faced tough opponents during this stretch. Cleveland were the #1 seed last year, playing them on the road is an automatic L for most teams. We all know how good Detroit are, and any team in the NBA can lose when they catch Wemby or Giannis on big nights. But my main takeaway isn't the results, it's the fact that Chicago were competitive in these games. In the losses to San Antonio and Cleveland, they were in it till the final buzzer. Their 5 losses this season have came against 5 playoff teams. They've shown early in the season over a 10-game sample size that they can hold their own and compete with the best teams in the conference. And even in the games they lost, Josh Giddey was still playing at an elite level. For example, 16 points, 14 assists and 7 rebounds against the Bucks, triple-double against New York, and even on an off night against Cleveland, he had 15 points, 9 rebounds and 6 assists. Just remember who we're talking about here. This is a Chicago Bulls team who lost their main core at the trade deadline last year. Let's not forget, ESPN said, quote, they have next to zero chance of making the playoffs. They've started the season with a very tough schedule. They've not had any free wins against Charlotte and Washington. They've played serious teams and still stand among the top teams in the Eastern Conference.
Ball fake into Kobe, checked by Avdia, down to 5, down to 4, game on the line right here. He takes Murray, he ducks under, Vooch for the win.
Gucci Mane has done it again. Put some respect on Gucci Mane's name. Bang, bang, bang. Late game killer.
I'm confident in saying that this Chicago Bulls team is going to make the playoffs, and they're doing this without Kobe White, probably the best scorer on the team. And while a lot of guys deserve a lot of credit for stepping up, the main reason for all this success is the new and improved Josh Giddey. He is the driving force. He has taken a massive leap in every aspect of his game. He is averaging 21.4 points per game, 9.6 rebounds and 9.3 assists. He is almost averaging a triple-double. People forget it was only 10 years ago Russell Westbrook was MVP of the league for doing just that. So what if Nikola Jokic has done it since? It is still incredible. Giddey has also improved as a shooter, hitting almost 39% of his three-pointers this season. Giddey has been arguably the best guard in the Eastern Conference. You can put his numbers on the screen alongside Cade, LaMelo, Trey, Garland, Brunson, anyone. He holds his own.
Josh Giddey's a very good point guard. He's having a very good year. He's not that talented, highly touted guy that LaMelo Ball is, but depending on what I have and what I need, Josh Giddey is a better point guard right now.
Giddey right now is the best rebounding point guard in the NBA. He's top 5 in assists and averaging over 20 points a night. He's doing this with what was supposed to be a lottery-bound roster, and he's actually leading his team to wins. It's not like he's just putting up big numbers on a bad team. No, he's making everybody around him better. He has given the city of Chicago something to be excited about because he's only 23 years old. He's a legit 6'8" point guard, one of the best transition players in the NBA. In a single possession, you'll see him fight with the Giants, grab the boards, push the pace, throw dimes, and even take it all the way to score coast to coast. His half-court offense has improved too. He's a threat to score or create for others out of the pick and roll. He's a table setter in complete control of the offense, and if he maintains this level, he will make the All-Star team. And conversations will need to be had about where Giddey ranks among the best point guards in the NBA. In fact, those conversations are already happening right now.
Gil, is Giddey proving he can be a star in this league? Are you talking about a small forward that can play the point, that can play the small forward, that can play? You just put the ball in his hand and just tell him just do magic. So I don't know if he's a lead dog, second option type of guy. I don't know what he is, but I want one.
There's a lot of players doing a lot of great things this season, Austin Reeves in LA being one of them. But Josh Giddey has to be the frontrunner to be most improved player, and him becoming an all-star caliber player completely changes the entire timeline for the Bulls. They have him locked up long term, 4 years, $100 million. That's only $25 million per season, and by today's NBA standards, that is an absolute steal. Nowadays, you have to pay 50, sometimes even 60 million per season for this type of talent. Yet the Bulls have him locked up for role player money. Matas Buzelis is only in year 2. He's not due a payday for a long while yet. The Bulls are an attractive market. They're well positioned to make moves, strengthen their squad via trade or free agency. But Josh Giddey being this good may have finally given them something to build around that enables them to be competitive again for many years to come. But the question I want to ask you guys to wrap up this video: what will Josh Giddey have to accomplish accomplish for you to look back at the OKC trade and say that they made a mistake? Is it all-star appearances, MVPs, winning? What is it? I feel like because OKC are so good that even if they did make a mistake and undersold somebody like Giddey, they have that much going for them that it doesn't matter. It's not going to affect their ability to be able to compete for titles going forward. And I think ultimately you can never say it was a failure because Caruso was very important and the Thunder did win a championship. But it's an interesting conversation. But also similarly to James Harden, the same way if he stayed with the Thunder as the sixth man backing up Russ, I don't think Giddey would have become this player in that environment. He needed a change of scenery and he needed his own team where he can play point guard.
Yeah, kid can play. He's proven that. Didn't know how to use him, well, they couldn't use him in Oklahoma City because you got Shai.
They try to make him a corner dude. He's not a corner dude. He's a playmaker. Yeah, so right situation, it worked out for both teams.
But don't think Josh Giddey is the only thing the Chicago Bulls have going for them, because they have another player on their roster that I believe will be an NBA superstar. This is Matas Buzelis. He should have been the #1 pick in the NBA draft. He was the top ranked prospect in high school, but on draft night, NBA teams slept on him, and after seeing how good he is in the NBA, they're now regretting their decision. To watch that video, click the big box in the middle of your screen, like this video, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications if new around, and on that note, it's DKM signing out until next time, and peace.